Hi and welcome to Flipping Websites, basic tips on buying. So if you were to ask me to give you some basic tips on buying, the first thing I would do and the most important thing I would do is to say to somebody, check the ownership. It's much like buying a car. Would you go to a parking lot where somebody has a car sitting there in a space and they're saying to you, look, why don't you buy it from me? This is a great little car, great runner. Here, the price is $15,000, £15,000, 15,000 euro. Makes no difference. Whatever the price is. If it looks a great deal and you suddenly part with your money and you go to drive it out of the parking garage, the parking lot, and suddenly the police pull you over and say, this isn't your car, you haven't got ownership to this car, all you've done is just wasted a huge amount of money. So first things to do is check the ownership. Checking the ownership of websites is very, very simple. You can go to whois.com or various Whois websites, which will give you freely available and publicly available information on who owns the website. Now, there's a few different caveats on that. Certain website owners will use a broker to sell their website. And I'm sure if you're buying through a broker, they would be more than happy to give you the proof of ownership and the proof that they have actually been retained to sell that particular website. Certain websites sell for a huge amount of money, and therefore they need professionals and a professional team, a legal team behind them to do it. It's not just going to be the guy who wrote it. The next thing to do, in fact, the next two most important things is to check traffic and check the ranking. And I have a little utility that I always use to do those two things. So there are a few tools that you can use. There is one specific free tool that I use if I'm ever looking at anyone's sites to find out traffic information or stats or ranking. And it's an add-in that you can get for Mozilla Firefox. Now, I have Mozilla Firefox in front of me here, and we can go to the Mozilla address. Okay, so here we are at the top here. We can see add-ons, and we go to add-ons, and here we are in the add-ons page. So the add-on that we're looking for is an add-on called Search Status. So we'll just put that in the bar there. Search Status. There we go. And this particular add-on that we're looking for is written by a gentleman who is called Craig Raw. All you have to do is download this, add it to Firefox using the little button that is there. It'll pop it into your browser, and effectively what it'll do is it'll give you these little areas at the bottom here where we've got Alexa and we've got PageRank. I don't know if you can see those little pop-ups. They're possibly just off the screen. There we go. And so what we can do as we're at addons.mozilla.org here, we can actually show index pages, show backward links for domain external, and we can show them in Yahoo. Okay, so what we're actually looking at here is just at the top here, it'll say it's displaying 1 of 10 of 17,400,000 linked domains to that site. What that tells us is effectively there is a lot of sites that link in to that add-ons area, which is fantastic, generating a huge amount of traffic. What we can also do is we could also go to a website that possibly wouldn't have so many. So here we are. I've come to a website of a little village in Ireland. Happens to be a village that I live very close to. And what we'll do now is we'll have a look at exactly the same stats by going into show index pages, show backward links, domain external, and show it in Yahoo. Now, I actually know the gentleman that wrote this website, and he only has 257 external links. So if you were to want to buy this lawrencetown.com website, you would know that it doesn't have a huge amount of traffic coming back into it. And using that one free tool, you can see that. Now, also the other thing that you can see, if we just go back to that particular website, we'll go back into Lawrencetown there, and you can see that the page ranking there is saying it's 3 out of 10. Okay, that's obviously for the search that we put in, and the Alexia rank is 9,467,164. You possibly can't see that on the screen, but at the end of the day, it gives you a good idea, a reasonable idea of the amount of traffic coming to that site, its page ranking for that particular search, and obviously the external links coming in. That particular free tool can give you a huge amount more information that I can go through here, and obviously it's down to you to research the use of that tool and others, but that's the sort of thing that you want to see. So we've checked that the website is getting traffic. It's got a lot of backward links, a lot of links coming into the site, so it brings not only just its organic traffic from search engines, but it brings traffic from other sites. We've checked its ranking. The ranking's pretty good, and the ranking holds up to whatever the seller says it is. Next thing we're going to do is we've got to make sure that if the seller says that he's making $5,000, pounds, euro a month, that he really is. And the one thing I would say to people is do not rely on screen captured information that is emailed to you. That's the first thing. It would be like somebody sending you a fax of ownership papers for a car. You need to know that it's the real thing. So you've got to find out where the income from that site is actually going to. Generally, it's going to go to some sort of merchant site or some sort of site that collects money for websites, such as, and we'll use, for instance, PayPal. PayPal has a utility in it that allows you to set up a view-only account. Now, if somebody is very serious about selling a website and what they're doing is they're saying, okay, my website makes $5,000 to $10,000 pounds, euro a month, then they're obviously very serious about that particular site. And if you're trying to buy that sort of site, you need to verify that income. So if the seller gives you any sort of objections to giving you information such as their PayPal income, then you know there's possibly something dodgy. Now, I'm not saying that's correct. It's just some people have an aversion to letting you see what their incomes are, and quite rightly, it would be like you giving access for me to see your bank account. You want to keep your personal finances private, but obviously, if you're selling something like that, you really do need to prove it. And it's one of those things that it's going to be a make or break for me. If I was to buy a website, I would want to really verify that income. And by logging on myself in a view-only account, that would be one way of doing it. The other thing, of course, is if you're going to buy a website, how much should you actually buy the site for? A lot of people say, is there any calculations, Kevin, that I can do that shows me that the website is either going to make me money or I'm paying the right price for it? So I have a rule of thumb, and the rule of thumb goes like this. Buy at 8 to 10, sell at 18 to 20. And it's very, very simple. So here we go. We'll go through it slowly. You buy a website for an absolute maximum of 8 to 10 times its monthly revenue. So, easy calculation. If we're saying that a website makes a monthly revenue of $1,000 pounds, euro, then your maximum bid on that site, or your maximum price for that site, should be no more than $8,000 to $10,000 pounds, euro. Okay? The reason being is because effectively you want to be able to turn that site around. You've verified its traffic, you've verified its ownership, you've verified its ranking, you've even now verified its income. So you want to be able to make sure that you're paying the right price. If a website is only making $1,000 a month or £1,000 a month, euro a month, whatever, you are not going to want to pay 50,000 whatever for it. The reason being is because you're going to want to try and flip this website as quickly as you can. $50,000 pounds, euro for a site that's only making 1,000 a month is going to take you 50 months. That's 4 years, 2 months to even see a return on your revenue. So if you're then going to sell it and you've made changes to the website and you've made the traffic come to your site, you've increased the ranking, and you've increased the income. And we'll say we have doubled the income in a month. So the income that you are getting in is $2,000, pounds, euro a month. What are you going to sell it for? You're going to sell it for 18 to 20 times its value. That is the optimum value to sell it at. So again, if we're saying $2,000 a month is our revenue, then 20 times that would be $40,000, pounds, euro. So you bought it for 8, you sold it for 40. That says to me that that's a profit of $32,000, pounds, euro. It won't always work that way. It is only a rule of thumb. My one concern is that you do not buy a website for more than 8 to 10 times its value, but you do sell it for more than 8 to 10 times its value. And that's why I say 18 to 20 is an optimal price for selling a website. That way you can actually make a small amount of money. So I hope you found that interesting. Basic tips on buying. Don't forget, check the ownership, check the traffic, check the ranking, check the income, and then, only then, make the calculation for the site and make sure you are happy parting with that money for that particular site. Well, thanks for watching, and I hope to see you soon.